Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Paul, and I am a nerd, and you are lucky enough to be here for the November, day after Thanksgiving weekend, Tabs3 virtual user group meeting from Attorney Computer Systems, where today we are talking about credit memos. Mary Jo is going to take that topic. And printing reports that are outside the current year, I am going to take that topic. And so without further ado, I'm going to press all the magic buttons, not just one, not just two, but all of the magic buttons to get us into tabs so that Mary Jo can talk to us about credit memos.
Okay, so credit memos, fun stuff. We're going to talk about how you can actually print one out. So what are we talking about when we talk about a credit memo? So a credit memo occurs when we issue a credit for fees or costs for a particular matter. And to do that, what we're doing is we're putting in a negative fee entry or a negative cost entry to give the client credit for a fee or a cost. So whenever we make that transaction for a particular matter, that creates this opportunity for us to print a credit memo for those transactions. So if we go into our Generate Statements now, you'll see on our Transactions tab that we have the ability to select to only include those fee credits that we've entered in onto that particular matter, or to only include those cost credits. And if we check those boxes and we run statements, we would only be running statements for those clients. Right now, I've got everybody selected, but you can pick and choose a client. We'll talk about that in a minute. But this would run, at this point in time, draft statements or whatever I have over here for only the clients that have fee credits or cost credits. And you can uncheck payments if you want, and then that's all you're going to get for whatever date range that you select. So that's how you can issue multi-credit invoices to all of your matters that have a credit. Or you can come over here to the client and we can pick, we'll pick client 102 and just run a credit memo for him. So in this instance, I am going to check both of these boxes and leave my date range open because I'm in sample data and I have no idea what these are dated anymore. But I'm just going to run a draft and we're going to preview that to take a look at what that will look like. So this is my cover statement, so that's my first page. But if we get down in here, we're going to see that they have a credit for fees that we've issued for $250. And now they already had a credit balance prior, so that just raised that up a little bit. And that is our new credit memo here for that particular client. They're going to see just that. I'm not showing any other work in process for him. I'm not showing any other information, just that credit balance that he now has. So this is going to issue them that credit memo that you want to send to him. Now, something else that you can do, so I guess we want to talk about that difference. That is if it is a fee credit or a cost credit. This isn't saying that they have a complete credit balance on their account. Like if they currently in WIP have a negative fee or a negative cost, that's what this is including. This isn't going to just say only include all of the clients that have a credit balance. That doesn't do that. Those are already run just like you would run any other statement. But you now have the ability to exclude credit balance only clients. So again, this is not the credit memo part. This is if a client has a credit balance and we don't want to run those with our normal batch of statements that we run. So if I were running this for a certain attorney or a certain batch of clients, and I don't want to print anybody that has a credit balance because I'm not going to send them a statement anyway, I would check this box here. And that would let me do my regular run of statements, and I'd be able to exclude those credit balance clients. So there's a difference here, credit balance versus fee and cost credits, and then how those are going to appear, and whether we just want those so we can issue that credit memo.
That's exciting. A lot of people have always wanted to have a credit memo. It's one thing to give somebody a credit, but the client wants to see the credit. They want to see it on paper. They want to see something that looks like a credit memo. Now we can finally do that. Now, I'm talking about that that nefarious subject of printing current year reports. We used to have what we called bucket-based reports. And so we would have to advance the month, and we would only be able to print this year's and maybe last year's productivity reports. But somewhere over time, because it happened in several releases, we got rid of all the reports that were bucket-based, and they are now all date-based. What that means, though, is that you can print a report for any time period. To give you an example, let's say that you've got people entering time, and it's January 2nd, and you have not closed December yet, back in the old way of doing things. You needed to advance that month to get that month into January so that the time that people entered for January would be time that got put in the January bucket. And if somebody happened to enter some time for December in January after you had advanced the month to January, why, that time got put in the January bucket too. That's what we mean by bucket-based reports. That's the way things used to be. Now, it's all based on the date. You can go into January, you can still not be done closing out December, and yet your timekeepers can start entering time for January, and it will be counted as January time. And even if you've closed out all of December, if they enter some time in January that's backdated to December, it's December time. That's the beauty of date-based reports as opposed to bucket-based reports. And so some of the last reports to change were some of the productivity. So if I look at, for instance, timekeeper productivity, let's see, there we go. That was one of the reports that was last to change. And so now what we have is these drop downs here for some of these reports that let you say, we're reporting on January through December, we're reporting on July through September. But you'll notice that all the dates in this drop down are 2018. Why is that? And so we get a lot of calls from people saying, I thought I could print reports that go back as far as I want because we now have date-based reports. And you can. But here's the problem right here. It's not a problem. In fact, knowing that it's not a problem is the solution. The fact is that the system thinks, and admittedly our demo data is a little bit behind, but thinks that the current reporting month and year is 10 October of 2018. If we want to print a report for like this, the Timekeeper Productivity Report, and have dates from 2017 or 2016 or whatever year to choose from, we need to change our current reporting year, okay? Where do we go to do that? Mary Jo, where do we go to do that? So if I go here, set current reporting month, and I'm sorry, say again, Mary Jo? Now, if I want to change this to 2017 or 2016 or 2015 or whatever, I need to make sure that I set my current reporting month to December, okay? Because if we're going back to a prior year, then we want it to be as if it's the end of the year, okay? So if I switch this back to December of 2017, and then I go back into that Timekeeper Productivity, and I go over to this screen here. Oh, sorry, there it is. Now I'm in 2017. That's really all it is. That's the secret. You need to simply tell the system, hey, my current month is 2017. Now, people say, well, I don't want to set it back to 2017. Something's going to happen. Somebody else is going to do something that's going to go into 2017. No, remember, we're not using buckets anymore. We're not saying that all time that's entered while this is switched back to 2017 should go back to 2017. No. This just says, for the sake of these drop-down menus in the reporting screens, what is your current year? So that you have current, what it thinks is current dates to choose from. So if you want to go back to 2017, you change your current year back to December of 2017.
Now, what Paul says is true. that if somebody gets in here, it's not, they enter something in there. But if somebody goes to run a report, another productivity report, if you don't forget to change it back, they're going to see the same thing and get freaked out.
Exactly. So the flip side to that is it's not going to affect anything except the people that are doing the very same thing that you're doing right now. You're printing reports. You need to change it back to 2017. Don't forget to change it back to 2018. It's not the end of the world. I mean, somebody's going to run a report and they're going to go, oh, Paul forgot to switch it back to 2018, but it will cause some problems. There are other reports where you don't see locked down dates like this, but instead you see things like current year, current month, prior month. That is also where it gets this stuff from. So that's why you really, except when you're printing backdated reports from prior years, really why you always want to have it set to the current reporting month, current reporting year. That's real. Even if you're not done closing October. Let's say it's October. You noticed that when I came in here, it was set to October 2018. You're not done closing October? Who cares? Set it to November anyways. It's really just for the convenience of the people printing the reports. And as long as you've always got it on the right place, then you're ready to go. And that's that. 2 simple topics today. We figured with all this, turkey, dopamine, whatever, this nap. I didn't even eat turkey for Thanksgiving, and I still feel like taking a nap this afternoon. We thought we'd keep it a little short. Next month, we're going to go into what to do when you need to move a matter from one client to another. There's a couple ways to do that, and each one has its own implications and should only be used in certain circumstances. So Mary Jo's going to lay that all out for us and define how to change a matter from one client to another. And I'm going to talk about Mary Jo's favorite report, the top client report. Tell you how that's used, why it's her favorite report, why other people seem to like it too. Now, of course, if you've ever been to one of these before, you know that it's not over until Paul takes you to the Attorney Computer Systems website and shows you how to get back to all this wonderful content that we have. So if you go to attorneycomputersystems.com, notice the emphasis on that last S in the word systems, because without it, you don't get to the right place. And if you click on the word videos in the menu, wait for it, here it comes, you will get to this screen that tells you about all 6 different video titles that we maintain. We, of course, have 4 live events, 3 of them being virtual user group meetings, and you are at one of those right now. You're at the Tabs3 virtual user group meeting. We also have one virtual user group meetings for Practice Master and World Docs. And I also have a live event every month that we call the Coffee Pot Webinar, where I invite somebody from a company that has a product that adds value or enhances the value of Practice Master, Tabs, or World Docs. I invite them into this webinar to explain their product and explain how it enhances Tabs or Practice Master or World Docs. So these are all live, and then we also have 2 pre-recorded, 2 non-live video titles. We have Mary Jo's eBytes video series, where she takes something really cool that we can explain very quickly and concisely, and she records a video about it. Usually these are 2 or 3 minute videos, and we do Mary Jo records 3 of them each month, 1 on Tabs, 1 on Practice Master, 1 on World Docs. And then we also have our longer format Paul and Mary Jo show with kind of the same idea. We take something cool that needs to be explained, but it's usually the things that are broader or more deep in nature and therefore take longer time to explain. So we record 1 of these each month, and we try and spread it out, but they run the gamut from Tabs to Practice Master to World Docs. Now, if you click on more info on any of our live events, you will get information about the next event and what the topics are. At the very top, you'll get the title and the description of that particular video group, video title. So the Tabs3 virtual user groups meetings, that's what they're all about. Here's the next one. Here's 2 links to register. They are identical. They take you to the same place. Some people just like to see what they're clicking on when they click, and a description of what's going on. And then as you scroll down, you will find recorded versions of every one that we've ever done in the past. This is the one that you're currently listening to, so it's actually not available. It's going to be in post-production for a few days, and as soon as Brad's done prettying it up, it will show up on the website here. But as we scroll down even further, we see recorded inline videos of every other Tabs3 virtual user group we've ever had. We also have the ability to search up here. So if you wanted to learn about, let's say, emailing statements, you can either type a word and wait for the short list to pop up, or you can type a word and hit enter like I did, and up will pop the complete list of every title, every video that has that word in either the title or the description. So these videos are here. We've got about 800 to 900 videos on the site. We're putting out about 10 or 11 each month. So these videos are going to be here for you every single day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. They're there. So when you're bored and need to learn something about Tabs or Practice Master or World Docs, this is the place to go. Everybody have a good rest of the day, good rest of the month, a very Merry Christmas and a Happy Holiday, and we will see you. Wait a minute. It's not. It's only November. Well, have a happy holiday and a Merry Christmas anyways, but we'll see you before. Bye-bye, everybody.